Levin, Temple Bethel in Boca Raton.
And I'm Lori Shapiro, the Cantorial soloist.
Okay, so the very beginning of the Magid section of the Seder, the telling of the story, starts with the famous 4 questions. Now, traditionally, the youngest child was asked to chant these. In my family, it was the youngest child who had been to Hebrew school. But nowadays, it's perfectly appropriate to make every child in the family chant the 4 questions together. And here are the 4 questions. We're going to chant them, and you can learn to chant along with us, and we'll translate them and explain them as we go.
מה נשתנה הלילה הזה מכל הלילות, מכל הלילות.
So this is the very famous question. Why is this night different from all other nights? And so it's almost like not so much 4 questions, but 4 quizzical statements. See how it goes.
שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים חמץ ומצה, חמץ ומצה. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולו מצה. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולו מצה.
Okay, so it says, on all other nights we can eat any kind of bread that we want. Crackers, bagels, you name it, we can have it. Except that on this night, we only eat matzah. Why is that? The second question, or statement, goes like this.
שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים שאר ירקות, שאר ירקות. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, מרור, מרור. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, מרור, מרור.
See, there's different ways to sing it.
Maror, maror, he goes maror. It's good.
So, on all other nights, we can eat all different kinds of vegetables and all different kinds of herbs. But tonight, we specifically eat bitter herbs. I wonder why that is. Now the third question.
שבכל הלילות אין אנו מטבילין אפילו פעם אחת, אפילו פעם אחת. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, שתי פעמים. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, שתי פעמים.
Now, I know we all like to dip our French fries in ketchup, and in ancient times it wasn't such a common thing to dip 2 foods together. And so the question is, why is it that on all other nights we don't usually dip at all, but on this night we dip 2 times? And now on to the 4th question.
שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים בין יושבין ובין מסובין, בין יושבין ובין מסובין. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולנו מסובין. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולנו מסובין.
So on all other nights, normally we sit up at the table, and on this night we can eat either sitting up or we can eat reclining. Now, you may want to know what the answer is to all of these questions, and ultimately the whole rest of the Seder is designed to answer them, but we'll give you the Cliff Notes. So on all other nights, we can eat all kinds of bread, but on this night only matzah. And that's because the matzah was the bread of affliction. The matzah was the bread that didn't even have time to rise because our ancestors were so appreciative and eager for their freedom that they left before that bread had time to rise. Why do we eat bitter herbs on Passover? Because the bitter herbs remind us of the bitterness of slavery and the bitterness that everyone was made to experience, that we should experience as we remember that dark and difficult time. The third question asks us about dipping. And let's see. The first thing that we dip is our parsley in the salt water. And the parsley, that green vegetable, that sense of rebirth, reminds us of the tears that the Israelites had to experience, and that's where the salt water comes from, that tears that they shed in their experience of suffering in slavery. And lastly, the thing that we dip, of course, is the horseradish in the haroset, the bitter and the sweet. The haroset symbolizing the mortar that the Israelites used to bake bricks, and the bitter herbs, the maror, to remind us of the bitterness of slavery, to remind us also in life that there is bitter and sweet in the course of our experience. Lastly, why do we recline at a Seder table? Because reclining was the symbol of a free person. And so we recline to celebrate our freedom and to relax in the company of family and friends. Chag Sameach. Enjoy your Seder.
Chag Sameach.